Hi everyone, this is Julia at home, and I'm Julia, and I thought we'd just chat this morning a little more casually than my normal videos. I have been meaning to talk to you about my goal setting for 2018 with my Cultivate What Matters Powersheets, and it's almost the end of January and I haven't quite done it. I am sneaking in a little moment here in the early morning while my kids are doing some good playing. I would normally be starting school now, but one of them is writing lists, and their play I think is very beneficial, and I don't want to interrupt it at the moment. So I'm going to try to steal a few minutes and do this video. So if you haven't seen it, this is the Cultivate What Matters Powersheets for 2018. I also used their parents guide. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with giving you guys a little bit of a tour. I can't show you all of it, mainly because a lot of it gets very personal, especially in the main Powersheets prep. But I'll try to show you a little bit, and then I can talk a little bit more about my goals. I'm going to start by talking about the parents' goal guide, because I did start by going through this myself. It's really good quality paper. It feels good. I'm skipping the About page because it has details about that you can write about individual family members and, and your family as a whole. But I'm going to show you some of the other pages in here. It helps walk you through thinking about what is your vision. What do you want your family to look like? What do you want your core values to be? What values do you want to pass on to your children? Ways we want to grow, what's growing well, thinking about what you can do to improve. It was really helpful. I was kind of just sitting on the couch with my family. We were all playing, and I went through this and talked to my husband as I went and talked to the kids a little bit. And we ended up brainstorming and coming up with 3 main goals that I then incorporated into my Powersheets. So the main family goals are a menu of healthy meals, treating each other with kindness and respect, and more consistent family time. And after I went through my own Powersheets, these the wording of it adjusted, and I'll show you that, and I'll go through it more in detail in my Powersheets. And this also gives you an idea for some seasonal traditions and doing this with one hand. And then later spring fun list, summer fun list, and so on. So this was really a really helpful place for me to start. And now I'm going to show you my Powersheets. So this is the Powersheets from 2018 from Cultivate What Matters, my goal planner. And there's a section in the front for prep work, and it's just really personal. So I'm not going to share all that, but I'm going to flip to the page that has my goals. So you can kind of see an overview of my goals here. And I'm just going to talk a bit about them. I think I'll just chat with you instead of showing it to you. Before I elaborate a bit on my goals, I wanted to mention that I did pick a word of the year. It was in the prep portion, so I didn't show it to you, but my word of the year is nurture. And I'm talking about nurturing myself, nurturing my family, and creating a nurturing home environment for everybody who enters my home. So that's really my theme for the year. And I'm quite liking it, and it works into a lot of my goals. So the first goal, I'm taking a look at it now, is consistent family time doing nurturing activities. So that's things like going for hikes, which we try to do at least once a month, and family game times, which we're trying to be more consistent about, and our read alouds, which we do pretty well on, but just having that goal there helps to make sure we're doing those nurturing activities and creating those moments that we'll remember as a family. My second goal is save as much as possible. So this is basically my financial goal. You can watch, I made a video about my budget planner where it goes into more detail on my goals for the year. But basically we're trying to buy a house and move, and that all takes money. And so we're pausing our debt snowball at the moment to save as much as possible. So that includes finding ways to save on items, but just putting all the extra we have into our savings. The next big goal is to create a nurturing home. And this is a goal that I'm thinking will last for many years, but there's a lot of things that could mean. It could mean the atmosphere of the home. But this year it's more of a physical focus on the home since we are planning on moving. So on how you can structure your physical space to make it more nurturing. And so step one is to simplify, to declutter. I did read and start KonMari's Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up last year, like December 2016, January 2017, I started it and I was going well through some of the categories, and then I lost momentum. And so we're restarting that. Our first big project, it doesn't really follow KonMari because she talks about pulling out categories of things, but we have this big closet in our basement that just has all sorts of stuff shoved in there. So we have started by going through that and figuring out what's in there because we can't clean it out if we don't know what's in there. So that is in progress at the moment. After we simplify, it will be organizing, and I'm really hoping to make a smooth, organized move as much as is possible. I mean, there's always stuff that comes up, but as much as possible, make it smooth, make it organized, not too traumatic for the kids. So, and then when we get there, have the home organized, because it's easier to create a nurturing environment when things have a home and you can easily find what you need. So that's important. And then just, decorating and making it a beautiful space, I think also helps it be a nurturing environment. If you can, it gives you good vibes when you're there. It really affects, I think, how you feel, how a room is decorated. And I only am recently discovering what is my personal style, what is really decorating. It's not something I've known much about. So that's something I've been actually reading about, and I've been looking at lots of books to try to figure out what is my style, what would make it a nurturing home for me in particular and for my family as a whole. So I'm really excited about this larger goal and moving forward with that, and I hope to make more videos specifically on that for you all. But moving on, because there's 10 goals in here, my fourth goal is to practice gratitude and kindness. And along with the first one, consistent family time, you'll recognize that as a goal from the Parents' Companion Guide. And, my kids right now are 5 and almost 3, and so they're young, and 4-year-olds, I felt like the 4-year-old phase, they can be pretty rude. And I think it's partially just the age, but also as parents, it's our jobs to set a good example. And I think that focusing on gratitude and kindness will help us as adults, as parents, as people, and also help set them up for a more contented life. There's been studies on gratitude and how that makes you happier in life. So I think they're just also, as well as creating the kind of people that we want to be, we want them to be, setting them up for a better life. I think that's really ultimately what we all want. So that's where the practicing gratitude and kindness, that's hard to say right now. Practicing gratitude and kindness comes in, and my plan is to do that through, always through books. I do everything through books. But we're also setting up a gratitude jar where once a week at dinner, we write down something we are grateful for and we put it in a little slip in the jar. And then at the end of the year, I'm hoping to make some form of art out of it. I got this idea from Laura, who made the Cultivate What Matters Powersheets. She's the founder, and she did a similar thing with her prayers. I don't know what format our art will take yet, but I'm really excited about that. And then also I'm coming up with kindness activities, and I'm hoping in the fall it can be part of our curriculum, that we do activities on a regular basis that are kind and practicing kindness. So I'm excited about that goal. Goal 5, nourish myself and my family with healthy foods. This was the third one in the Parents' Companion Guide, and I want to do better focusing on healthy foods. I tried a variety of diets in 2017, and they were experimental. I'm not sure how I felt about all of them. I learned, but I don't think any one of them really worked for me. And so I'm trying to just get back to basics, to the foundations of, lots of veggies, moderate, healthy grains, healthy fats, moderate protein, try to keep it as clean as possible. So that's where it's still in progress exactly what my food philosophy is, and I'm sure it will change and adjust, but working on it with my family, coming up with healthy menu plans is where I'm going with that goal, and that will help, I think, all of us be healthier, be more I want to say more stable, more like emotionally, mentally stable. Because when you get those, if you've been even eating too many carbs or too much sugar, and then you get the highs and the crashes, and that's just no good for anyone. So I think this focus will help us all with any of those. My sixth goal: celebrate the seasons and seasonal holidays in meaningful ways. And I do this a little bit, but I just want to be more aware of it. Things like the spring equinox and the summer solstice, the fall equinox, the winter solstice, things like that. I do have some traditions. I want to make sure I have a tradition at least for each of those, and just keep observing them. For me, it's a spiritual practice. I think it's a great way to connect to nature, to the world, to really all the other creatures on the planet, because we're all feeling these seasonal changes. So that's what that one's about. Goal 7 is my meditation practice. This is part of a series to help me, a series of goals, I should say, to work on my health and my well-being. It was a rough year in 2017, and I have been a little more stressed and anxious and losing my patience a little more than I would like. And I know that meditation is really good in general, but specifically also for those things. So my goal is 5 minutes a day. I'm not necessarily reaching my 5 minutes a day goal at this point, but I'm doing better, and I am being more consistent. And I'm also teaching the kids a little bit about it as I go. And I hope to continue to do that, and also hopefully to find, I didn't make this a goal necessarily for January, but during the year, find some mantras to say to help me calm down or ground myself in moments where I might be feeling overwhelmed or losing my patience, so that I can be a better mom. So that's my meditation practice. 3 goals left. Goal number 8 is focus on fitness. So I've talked about the diet a bit. I talked about the meditation. And so this is more of the traditional, I do want to be slimmer and stronger. After this past year, not in my best shape. I'll just say it that way. Not in best shape. I tried and ended up going in the opposite direction that I wanted in 2017. So I'm refocusing. I'm trying to let go of any of the guilt of not reaching my goals in 2017, which was an issue for me, or not making positive progress. It's not so much about like not reaching the ultimate goals. I went backwards instead of making progress. And so I just really want to make progress this year, and I'm really trying to focus on the health of it and trying to be healthy, but also feeling good about myself. So that's what that goal is about, focus on fitness. It includes the food, but more specifically, I'm trying to track my food more often, and not go like crazy low calorie, do anything crazy like that. But I need to keep an eye on my sugars. Sugar is bad. Sugar is bad. And, normally I wouldn't want to say any food group is bad, but that's probably the one that I feel comfortable saying. I'm not eliminating it totally, which might be a good idea, but that doesn't seem realistic to me. But drastically reducing, on a normal day, I really shouldn't be having any added sugars. I'm not going to say no to a dessert now and then. So tracking my overall calories, so I'm not just, I have a tendency to eat more when I am anxious or overwhelmed or sad. And so I need to keep an eye on that, because then it affects me and my body negatively. So tracking the calories, tracking the sugars, and not doing it every day, and trying not to do it in a judgmental way, or I have to stay below this number a day, but just being more aware, bringing more awareness to it. Some people can't do that. Some people it's not healthy for them, and so if that's you, don't do it. But for me, this has worked in the past. I use the MyFitnessPal app, and I have mapped my fitness so that my walks and my workouts I can put in there, and it connects. So I have that. That's my fitness goals. And obviously that includes doing more workouts and yoga, and I'm still figuring out how to work those best into my schedule and how to do things so that I want to do them. So I'll keep you updated on that. That's kind of a constant journey for me right now. Okay, goal 9 is regular outdoor time for myself and the kids. This is something I've actually done pretty well with in the past few years. We go on regular walks. We go explore nature. I take them out to the playground. So I'm happy with what we've been doing, and I just want to maintain and keep doing that. And for fun this year, I decided to do a 365 challenge, which is go 365 miles in a year. So it's a mile a day, which I think is great because when we go for a walk, I usually go at least a mile, but in the cold weather, we don't necessarily get out every day. But then when it gets really nice out, like in the late spring, like I'll be going 2, 3, 4 miles a day. And so I can catch up for the days that I missed when it was super cold, or if we're sick, or if we're busy. So I really like the flexibility, but that it seems like a good realistic goal for me. So I'm excited about that. And then my 10th goal, so this is one that if you saw my Instagram post with my goals, wasn't there. And then I added one, and then I took it out and changed it. So my current 10th goal is to nurture myself through reading, crafting, and creating. Again, nurture, I really just wanted to focus on some me time, really. And things I like to do in my me time include reading and crafting and creating. So even things like creating this video could be considered me time. And scheduling in time to rest and allow myself to do those things as they kind of strike me. So not saying I have to read on this day, but this is a rest day and I have the freedom to read. I have the freedom to work on a knitting project. I have the freedom to make and edit some videos if that's what I want to do. So that's my 10th goal, and that finishes them up. I really like that there's room for 10 goals in here, because that allowed me enough goals, but it also limited me, which I think is a good thing. I think I could have gone kind of crazy with the goals, but this made me do only 10, and there are some that jump out as like bigger goals to me than other. Like the creating a nurturing, peaceful home is a really big goal to me. Celebrating the seasons is a goal, but it's something I will do, several times throughout the year. But it's not going to take as much work. It's just something to keep it in my awareness. I'm really enjoying this. I'm going to shoot a video soon on how I'm incorporating the Powersheets into my Erin Condren Life Planner. My kids needed me for a minute, but I'm back. So I will do a separate video talking about how I incorporate my Powersheets with my Erin Condren Life Planner and going through the specific, the monthly tabs that are in here. And until then, I'll see you later.